All right, Steeler fans, it is time for the mailbag segment every single Wednesday on the Let's Ride podcast. In case you forget, how do I get my question answered? Here's how you do it. At J Hartman, HARTMAN_PIT on Twitter and X. I put out the question on Tuesday. All you have to do is respond. You don't have to follow me if that's not your bag. That's fine. It's fine. You got to you just respond to that tweet and I'll answer. So let's start this things off like we always do. Believers, he does the Ride or Die Crew poll of the week. Here are the options. The Steelers will be on HBO this year, along with the rest of the AFC North. I will watch. The options are 0 episodes, a few episodes, every episode. So there's been 7 votes, and most people said every episode. There's not a lot of votes here. It's okay. I actually said 0. Why? I don't have HBO. And I understand that there's some people that'll say, well, just go get HBO for the season. This is getting ridiculous, in my opinion. I mean, I'm going to have to get Netflix or somehow get someone's password for the Christmas Day game, which, by the way, Christmas Day game, the NFL doesn't have producers. They don't know who's going to call the game. Great job, NFL. Keep up the good work. Let's see what that's like. So I got to get Peacock if I want to watch some playoff games. I already have Amazon Prime, but I would have to get that if I want to watch Thursday Night Football. So now I have to get HBO as well. It's a never-ending cycle. I don't know what I'm going to do. But right now I have 0. I don't have HBO. I don't plan on getting it. So I don't watch television really anyways, outside of sports. Let's go to Jeff Coons, our buddy up north. He said, hi, Jeff. Greetings from Not Mad Canada. There have been plenty of comments regarding an Arthur Smith offense that is quote-unquote run first. In a world of pass-dominated play, are the Steelers longing for past successes with similar playbooks, or are they cavemen stuck in a lost era? It's a great question. I think that in a perfect world, what the Steelers want is they don't care about the high-flying passing offense. What they care about is keeping their defense strong and fresh and just winning football games. Mike Tomlin says famously, style points don't matter. He means it. He 100% means what he says. And when he says that, let's control the clock. Let's grind it out. Let's run it down their freaking throat. I can't speak for everyone listening to this, but for me, there is nothing I enjoy more. Nothing. And this has been my whole life than when a quarterback hands the ball off and the team is running the ball so well that they can't stop it. It's one of those situations where all 22 players on the field know exactly what's coming. They know exactly where it's going, and they can't stop it. I always go back to the Le'Veon Bell era. There's the game in Buffalo, snowing. Le'Veon Bell had more offensive production yards than the Bills' entire team. That was so fun to watch. You are just physically dominating the opponent. You are sucking the life out of them. That's what the Steelers want. That's what they hope to get. All they need is some better. They really kind of did that last year. If they just had better red zone production, score more points, give the defense a lead once in a while, things can change. So I think that it's not that they're trying to recreate the wheel or that they're stuck in caveman times as here we are in modern day life. I think it's more just about the Steelers think that this is the best way for them to succeed as it pertains to keeping the defense fresh, keeping limiting turnovers and mistakes, and ultimately dominating the opponent. Good question. Let's go to Nathan Van Slyke. Hey, Jeff, what are your thoughts on the AFC North being selected to be the division on in-season Hard Knocks? So my thoughts on this are there's a lot of people that think it's a distraction. It's a distraction. And I'm going to reference everyone to go check out Bad Language. Brian Anthony Davis does a great job. This ran on Tuesday morning. He said it's only a distraction if you let it be a distraction. And I understand that. I also think that people sometimes downplay what the team already does. So they're the standard of YouTube show, which is also on Steelers.com, is just like a Hard Knocks. They've got cameras in meetings as Mike Tomlin is talking to his team. Nothing will change there. They have cameras at practice. They're interviewing players. They're doing one-on-one sit-downs with Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin and Art Rooney II. In that respect, it's not going to be that different, I don't think. The quantity of cameras might change, but the fact that they're on film, that's not going to be different. In today's day and age, the NFL is king. Everyone wants content. Give me more, give me more, give me more. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I will say I'm glad it's a division thing based on the fact that the competitive balance, I do think the NFL knew exactly what they're doing. They knew exactly what they wanted. They backlogged these division games on purpose. And people were like, "Oh, you're such a conspiracy." No, that like they've said they realized what they were doing when it came to the divisional games. They knew what they were doing. And don't think for a second that they didn't have this deal with HBO already done. I think it's a good idea. Will I watch it again? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. I'll see the highlights. We'll see. All right, let's go to Doc M, Southside Doc. He said, describe how the team's accountability had changed during Tomlin's tenure. Is there a relationship between that and winning? Will the fans' perceptions be shattered once we can see Tomlin behind the curtain? So I think that really the relationship between the accountability aspect, when was the last time he didn't hold players accountable? That's a good question that everyone that's listening has to answer. So everyone doesn't just thinks that he just lets them run rampant. Is that because of Antonio Brown? Is it because of Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount? Is it because of Martavis Bryant getting suspended? I don't understand where this narrative comes from, but nonetheless, I think that Mike Tomlin, it's all about the roster that he has. I said this on the NFL Whip Around podcast with Coach KT Smith. Go check that out on our FFSN NFL feed. Just go anywhere you get your podcast, FFSN NFL, you'll find it. We do a show once a week. And I said that really, I just think that Mike Tomlin is a motivator and that he needs a roster and he'll motivate him and he'll get the wins, but he needs a good roster. And I think he finally has put a good staff together, a quality staff, starting with the offensive coordinator on down. So I don't think fans' perceptions will be shattered or will change. If you love Mike Tomlin, you're going to love him no matter what. And if you hate Mike Tomlin, you're probably going to hate him no matter what. Nonetheless, I don't think the accountability thing is as big as most people let it on. Let's go to Will Caldwell. Will Caldwell says, hey, Jeff, what type of contract extension are the Steelers going for? Do you think Cam Heyward would agree to an incentive-laden contract, or from what you know, do you think he is set on an extension with significant guarantees? I think that Cam is looking for one last bag. That's what he wants. He wants one last bag. He's guaranteed. He's been guaranteed a lot of money in this contract that he's currently in. The Steelers cap hit is not indicative of how much he will actually make this year. He probably just wants an extension that's going to give him a good amount of money. He's going to get to finish his career wherever that is, probably, hopefully Pittsburgh. And I don't know if it's set on guarantees or incentives. Steelers typically, even under Omar Khan, don't like to do a lot of incentive-based contracts, just not their line of work, so to speak. So I don't know the specifics. If I'm being honest, I don't know the specifics, so I can't really answer those. All right, let's go to Zach Prophet. He said, it's the offseason, so I'll ask a non-football question. We just adopted this guy. It's a great picture of a dog. Looks like a black lab. He said, what's your favorite breed of dog? That is a great question, and it's an adorable dog. He's got a Steelers blanket. First and foremost, thank you for adopting the dog. Thank you for adopting the dog. I have to be honest, my brother, who he and his wife, they love dogs. They have like 4 dogs. I think at one point they might have had 5. And they love German Shepherds. And they actually worked for the Virginia German Shepherd Rescue. They fostered a ton of dogs, and they foster non-German Shepherds, and they've adopted a ton of dogs, senior dogs. And I give them all the credit in the world because that has to be super difficult. But there's so many people that want to get the puppies and they want the purebreds. I've done that. We had our dog who's a yellow lab. His name is Kutch, which thank God Andrew McCutcheon came back to Pittsburgh, by the way, because trying to explain that to people, how we named him, that he actually was at one point in his life, he was a dog that could smell my son's blood sugar. My son's a type 1 diabetic. And so he was actually a service dog. And he doesn't really do that anymore. But that was the only time we've had like a purebred dog. I got to be honest. We went when my dog, who was a mutt, my oldest dog, Marley, he passed away about 3 years ago. And my wife said, okay, we got to go get a new dog. It's time. She likes having 2 dogs. And we went to the pound and we got ourselves a pit bull. We got a pit bull. And this dog, he's like my best friend. I'll tell you that. But his name's Bo, and I'll post a picture tomorrow for all those that listen. Bo is he high energy. This dog was probably maybe 2 when we got him. So he's full grown. He is a piece of work. This dog. So I gotta be. I love pit bulls. I love them. They're clingy. They're fun. They're energetic. They've got an unbelievable personality. They can show you so much about them, but their ears and their face. I wanted to say my favorite breed is pit bull. So Zach, thank you. Sorry for the rant, but I love the picture, man. It's an awesome dog. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go to Brandon Diaz. He has several. Number one, Hard Knocks, good or bad for Mike T? Oh, for Mike Tomlin, good. Through the roof, good. You're going to get to see Mike Tomlin in these situations where he's talking to his team and he's being the motivator that he is. People are going to fall in love with him if they haven't already. And I'm not talking about Steelers fans. They've seen it. They've heard it. I'm talking about the rest of the league, people that watch this stuff. It's going to be a love affair. Guarantee it. Next, let's go to if you could add any divisional player to our roster, who would it be and why? Interesting. Any divisional player. I'll tell you a guy I've always liked, and I hate him because he's on another team. I've always loved Marlon Humphrey. I've loved Marlon. I think he's really, really good, and he's had a lot of injuries. He's kind of slowed down the last few years, but when he was healthy, he was legit. Could you imagine him and Joey Porter Jr. across from one another? Yeah, sign me up. Next, will you do a live Ride or Die episode? Maybe. You know, that I need to look into it. I'd love to be able to find a way to be able to take calls. I would love to be able to find a way for like on a Tuesday night, I can do a show. I can take calls. You all can call in, talk to me one-on-one, and then I'll publish that as my show the next day. Let me look into that. I'll look into that. Next, who is most overrated player in the league? The most overrated player. I would say that the most overrated player is probably, in terms of overhyped, is Myles Garrett. Everyone thinks Myles Garrett is God's gift to football. I'm not going to go that far. On the Steelers, the most overrated player on the Steelers, that's tough. I'm a Steelers fan. It's difficult to try and pinpoint one player that I think is overrated. I think from last year, if I'm going based on last year's, Larry Ogunjobi. That's who I would go with. All right, last one from Brandon. Cam said he'd played for rivals, Smoke or Serious. Whether it was Smoke or Serious, the Steelers took it serious. They're pissed. I talked about that in the first half. They feel hurt. That's the word that was used. Hurt. They feel hurt. All right, let's finish this with some humor, shall we? And that's from Steeler fan 69. He said, did you hear sad... I'm sorry, I'm reading these before I say them, and they're really funny. He said, I find them funny because I'm a dad, and I like this type of humor. He said, did you hear the sad news about the Italian chef on the Food Network? He passed away. Get it? Pasta way. All right, next, what famous general was killed by a cannon? Napoleon Bonaparte. And then the last one, how do you wake up Lady Gaga? You poke her face. Get it? Poker face. I'm not singing that, by the way. Steeler fan 69 said, sing it. No, I sang another song, which was actually a better song, I think, not too long ago. But no, I'm not singing that one. So that's it. That's a wrap. Not a lot of questions this week. I get it. It's the off season. There's not a lot to discuss. It is crazy to think that we are in the back end of June and we are almost, we're at the 19th of June. That's today, the 19th of June. The 24th is when the players will report to training camp at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. Yeah, it's over a month, but it's going to be here before you know it. We're going to have you covered every which way and sideways at the Steel Curtain Network, both on the podcast side as well as on the written side. So check us out wherever you get your podcasts. In case you're watching this on YouTube, go anywhere where you get your podcast, searching Steelers or Steel Curtain Network. You'll find us. Follow, subscribe so that you get every single show. We're very proud of our work. Make sure you check out Jim Wexel and Jeremy Ritz today at the 11 o'clock hour when that show, the Steel City Insider, debuts right here on Steel Curtain Network. But that's it. That does it for me. Make sure that you stay tuned till Friday. I got Jeremy Jerome Bets coming up for the All Bets Are Off segment. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know how we finish these out. Be safe, be kind, and God bless. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you on Friday. Go Steelers.